What's up, guys? It's Scion, and this video is actually going to be called Lost in Translation. Now, I want to put something out there because I have to answer this because I had criticism on how I actually handle translations and everything else like that. And what I need everybody to understand is that when you play stuff earlier, like say in an earlier version of the game, like in the Chinese version, here's basically what's happening right now. When I play this stuff in China, it's a more advanced version of what's coming to America. Now, what ends up happening sometimes is that they change characters when I initially reviewed them in China, and then they end up being something else when they come to America. So obviously, when they come to America and they're different, then then I have to go back and redo them all over again, which is kind of what happens, which is why I'm gonna redo Hidan all over again from my original version, because he's changed in America compared to what he is in China. And see, that's why originally when I was being criticized for that, when they say, hey, well, you're misleading people, I wasn't misleading people. It's that the character was different in China and that he's in the earlier state going to America because they're in the earlier version. That's a little bit unfair to blame me for that, because they just didn't give us the updated version. Now, sometimes they can do that and give us the updated version, and that happened with Choji, that happened with Beheading Blade, Kakashi, that we got the versions that the Chinese version got, which is a little bit weird because we weren't at the game state of where China was at. So it was a little bit weird that they actually did that, because you guys remember Great Ninja War Choji was an ass. He was complete ass, and we got the good version of him and we didn't get the sucky version. So I was a bit shocked by that, because I was like, well, damn, like that's not when we got that patch version, when we got Great Ninja War Choji, we weren't at the same area that China was at. So they basically added that. Now, a case of where that did not happen is if you look, and that's annoying. If you look over at this, all right, so you look at this Hidan, and this Hidan basically, because this again criticism that I got, I was like, hey, well, he said that Hidan was hitting 8 people, and on my translation, when I actually looked at it, when I deciphered it the first time, to me it did look like he hit 8 people. What's really happening is he's hitting that for an 8 combo on 3 people, which is badass. That's badass, and he still pretty much has the same thing in America. However, they changed him in America because cause damage tag up to 3 enemy bodies. Obviously you see no 8 there at all, but over here in China you see that 8 right there in green. That basically means that he can 8 combo right there. That means he had 8 combo. So when it came to America, it did look like, hey, he didn't tell us the right thing, but that's only because this is the earlier version of Hidan before they changed it to this version. Which is why I said you guys don't always judge a book by its cover and be so quick to tell somebody that they're telling people incorrect stuff when that's not the case. Also, you see right there his third skill that's a chase. It's a 10 combo chase on top of that he'll actually initiate it when you you initiate it when you do 10 hit combos. Over here, he doesn't have a chase. You see that right there? His chase is missing. So pretty much what's happening right here is this is the earlier version of Hidan. You know, I'm about to smack this person. This is the earlier version of Hidan right here. You know, like, guys, you don't do that. You don't, like, I never accept anybody's duel. If somebody sends me a message, hey, can you duel? I'll do it, but you don't never do that. That's very rude in gaming. That's like in the title, like, I will never duel. He will never get a duel because of that, period. So pretty much right here, you see he has a chase, and right here he doesn't, because this is the earlier version of Hidan that we got in North America before they actually changed him. I don't know if he's going to change in 2.0. I don't know when this actually happened, because I never had Hidan in China to actually know when he changed. I never paid attention to it. Another instance of where that happened and people were like, hey, well, you didn't tell me the right thing, was, where is she? I have her actually in China, so I gotta go up. Let's find her. Here she is, Mabui. Actually, no, it's not Mabui. It's Tintin. I'm sorry, Mabui's the initiator. Yeah, it's Tintin. Now, what happened with Tintin, and I have her in America too. That happened with Tintin is, again, this is a cooldown type of issue. Her mystery skill has a CD cooldown. It doesn't have it in China, as you guys can see. And when it came to America, everyone was like, hey, well, she has a cooldown, she can't do that. When I did the video, I was using the Chinese version of her, and I did not know that it was going to be that was going to happen in America. So what ends up happening, and that's why the name of this video is Lost in Translation, is it's almost impossible for me to know or guess what they're actually going to use the current version of, or what they're going to use the backwards version of. Right there, it's really hard. There's nothing I can really do about that other than wait for it to come out and then redo the video, which I absolutely positively hate, because I hate redoing content. That's just a me thing. I don't care. Like, I know you see me do videos. I do a lot of videos in a week. I do close to 30, but I really hate to redo something that it makes me feel like I wasted my time. So there's nothing else that I can really do about that other than go back and do the video again and say, hey, yeah, I see what happened right there when they come through and something's different. All this really is just that we're getting certain versions, and then sometimes it's the current version that's in China and sometimes it's not. So you gotta bear with me. There's nothing I can do about that. The only thing I can do is redo the video again. But to be criticized for something that I did originally report right the first time because it's different in North America is a little bit unfair and actually really effed up. So I just had to point it out there. That's why I don't necessarily react to people right away when they have certain criticisms, because like a majority of the time I know they're flat out wrong, because they're just either they're trying to troll, or people just are always trying to find a way to knock somebody down rather than try to understand or see or figure out what the hell is going on. People will do that to you majority of the time. And like, you don't I'm telling you from a life lesson, don't always go that crazy at it. You just wait and come back like this, come back adult and say, look, this is what happened, and yeah, be quiet now. and this is pretty much what I'm doing right now. This is what happened. This is what happens in translation when you go from Chinese to America, or it happens in mini games. And mini games, there'll be something that I reported on, like Revelation Online. There was a time where I had reported on like an instance, and the instance came in the actual North American beta to be completely different than the one that I reported on, because they didn't use the version that I was doing back then. So then the people was like, hey, well, this is not like this, and it's only because it's not the same version. So that's the same thing right here. Now I'm hoping that they change Hidan into the OP version, and that's like a 2.0 thing or somewhere down the line. That for me right now, that makes, like, he's pretty cool the way he is right now, but I want the Chinese version. I don't want the American version right now. The Chinese version is badass, and maybe the Chinese version was too badass and they nerfed it. And if that's the case, then that sucks. But that's it for what I got right now. Just keep that in mind, that sometimes stuff in China is going to be a little bit different coming to America. Somebody actually put that in my comment section, that that Hidan is actually different in Taiwan than he is in China. So maybe it's just a region thing, that each region decides to do it differently. But it's not necessarily that I reported anything wrong. It's just that it was done differently. So other than that, bottom left is going to be more Naruto Online videos. Bottom right is going to be the MMO show. Top right is going to be Lady Legacy. Top left is going to be a random video. And as always, hit that notification bell so you can be first in notification squad. I'll catch you guys soon. Peace.